Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. I'm going to talk about Hasbro. We're going to talk about Wizards of the Coast. We're going to talk about layoffs. We're going to talk about Hasbro not doing so hot. They just released their new earnings results for, what was it, Q3? And it's not good, guys. They had one bright spot, I guess, this time. It was Transformers. Transformers sales were actually up. I think they would have been up a lot more if Transformers 1 was actually a hit and people would have gone to see it and bought the toys, but that didn't happen. They thought it was going to happen. If you've been to any Walmart or Target lately, you'll see these massive Transformers 1 displays, and they, honest to God, thought a lot of people were going to go see this movie, and they ultimately did not go see this movie. So let's talk about Hasbro laying people off, probably relocating to Boston sooner rather than later. I mean, they're talking 2026. So that's not looking good, guys. Before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo. No, you won't, actually. You won't get woohoo because she's not here. Geeky's not here. She's out sick. She'll be back hopefully in a day or two. She's got the same crud I had last week. So for the next couple of days, it's just me, and I'm still recovering. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Hasbro, guys. So let's talk about this. First, I think we're going to talk about the financials, which are not good. And then we're going to talk about them moving, right? So this is coming from Cybertron.com, which is still a thing. It's still around. The site's been around forever. Said Hasbro's Q3 report, yeah, it was Q3, shows Transformers are still doing well amid company-wide losses. Hasbro's been reinventing itself as a company these past 10 years under Brian Goldner. The goal was to become a media empire through license holding, like Disney. And the media plans switch with their movie investments not working out. That's putting it mildly. Other than the first like 2 or 3 Transformers movies, like everything's just not worked out for them. And they sold off their production studio, but they do a lot of damage to themselves when it comes to the movies. Like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, it had the misfortune of coming out when they were in the middle of the OGL 1.1 debacle, where they're going to like revoke that license and make people pay licensing fees and all that stuff after promising for years not to do it. And also, they really did not do that movie justice, because I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I held off for many months to watch it. I enjoyed it. They did a horrible job marketing it. Same with Transformers 1. I still need to watch it. It's on Vudu now. It's on digital. I'm probably going to buy it on digital. But everything I've heard for the most part is that it's a pretty good movie. It's just that the marketing made it look like a dumb kids movie. And a lot of people didn't go see it because of that. So they tend to shoot themselves in the foot, right? They had a good thing going with Bumblebee, and then they turn around, they did Rise of the Beasts, which, whatever. So they're focusing on becoming a digital play-focused company under their new CEO, Chris Cox. Chris Cox, who said he's going all in on digital, all in on AI. This is a guy coming from Microsoft, right? What could possibly go wrong when you take a toy company and try to turn it into a video game company in a time when all the AAA video game companies are laying people off? What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? These changes in goals are because they feel there is less money to be made in physical toys than before. Well, it's probably true. There are still a few toy lines that are seeing growth, and Transformers was one of them. They said the revenue for the company was down 15%. Transformers sales had a 5% increase. Of course, it's a far cry from the 87% they stated last year, thanks to the Rise of the Beast toys, but it's still growth in an overall market that's either stagnant or at a loss. Yeah, they are actually outsourcing their toys now. They're outsourcing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to Playmates. The My Little Pony, I think they're all being made by Basic Fun now. They're doing Little's Pet Shops. They don't even want to make toys. They don't want to make toys. But they're laying people off. This is a couple days ago. Iconic toy company to lay off dozens of employees, eyes relocation to Massachusetts. They said Hasbro confirmed plans to lay off dozens of employees this week as the company continues to develop a turnaround plan. Yeah, we talked about D&D employees getting laid off too, and that's actually making money for them, right? The company's director of global corporate communications, Andrea Snyder, said fewer than 100 employees will be affected, about half of which are based in Rhode Island. They're gonna lay people off. They're gonna lay a lot more people off if they're gonna move, and they're talking they're gonna move by 2026. So by law, companies with 100 or more employees are required to give a 60-day worker adjustment and retraining notification. The WARN Act notice to a facility closure or a notice of a facility closure or a mass layoff. As of October 25th, Hasbro has not posted a WARN notice clarifying when layoffs are expected to occur. In December 2023, the company parted ways with 20% of its workforce. Those cuts were in addition to a first round of 800 layoffs earlier that year. So they laid off 2,000 people in 2023, I think. Court filings show the company's overall revenue decreased by 15% between Q3 2023 and Q3 2024. Hasbro's year-to-date revenue declined by 18%, which the company says is primarily driven by the sale of E1 and TV businesses to Lionsgate. Yeah, they're going to use that excuse for a while. Basically, I think they're in the shit right now. I think they're losing a lot of money on Star Wars and Marvel toys. They're languishing at Ollie's. The company said it expects fiscal year 2024 to end with additional revenue decreases in consumer products from 12% to 14%, and in its pro forma entertainment, which is down $15 million. Areas the company expects to see improvement are its EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization from $975 million to $1.025 billion. News of layoffs comes about a month after buzz started circulating around Hasbro scanning locations in Boston. So they're actually saying this is WPRI, which is Rhode Island, I'm assuming. Cohog News here. They said, yeah, this 15% revenue drop, and they're going to move by mid-2026. They said they're going to move out of Pawtucket by mid-2026. This comes less than a day after Hasbro confirmed it will be cutting fewer than 100 jobs. The impending layoffs were announced in a memo sent to employees Wednesday by Hasbro CEO Chris Cox, made public by the Toy Book. These changes, they always try to be nice. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I've had to do it multiple times in my life, and it is hard. These changes will improve productivity and empowerment, but required making some difficult choices. As a result, we're saying goodbye to several team members who will be moving on from Hasbro. We're grateful for their contributions to our mission and wish each of them well. I think before it's all said and done, Hasbro is going to be a lean, mean licensing machine. I think Cox just wants to print money. I don't think he cares about toys. I don't think he cares about any of these brands. He's just looking at them like, how can I make as much money off of this? How can I make as much money off this shit as I possibly can? And it's going to be mobile apps and probably at some point like crypto or some crazy crap. In that memo, Cox also noted employees should expect an update on whether the toy maker will be moving next year. We'll also be making investments in our team, most notably exploring a new headquarters with a collaborative, modern environment that is reflective of our brands and fosters innovation. It probably won't look like a toy company. Hasbro does not want to be a toy company. We won't be moving until mid-2026 at the earliest, prioritizing convenience to public transit and working closely with teams to make sure we're building a space that works for our unique needs. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey and her team have been attempting to lure Hasbro to Boston since spring. In an earlier memo to employees, Cox confirmed that Hasbro has been exploring Boston in search of a suitable space for their new world headquarters. Governor Dan McKee and Pawtucket Mayor Ronald Greben, among other Rhode Island leaders, have been in contact with Hasbro, and they're actively working to convince the toy maker to stay. No, I don't think they're going to. They're going to go where the tax breaks are, right? At least it's not Texas. They moved to Texas. So anyway, they said Thursday morning, revenue declined 15% last quarter. The company also pointed to strong performance from franchise brands like Magic and D&D, and they keep pissing people off with Magic and D&D. And I don't know how much longer that gravy train is gonna roll on. Outperformance within our gaming and licensing businesses in the third quarter highlight the strength in two of our highest profit areas. Our key initiatives around digital, licensing, and reinvigorating our product innovation are bearing fruit. Toymaker reported an operating profit of $302 million and approximately $87 million in net cost savings this quarter. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. They've been there since the beginning. It was Hasbro started because it was the Hassenfeld brothers. I think there were three of them. I want to say there were three of them, and it was run by the Hassenfelds until 90s, I think 90s or early 2000s. And then that's when, whenever Brian Goldner came in, and then he decided he wanted to be Disney. And that's when they had the hub and they started doing all the movie deals and all that stuff. And then Brian Goldner died of cancer, and nobody knew he had cancer until like 2 weeks before he died. And then they got stuck with this idiot. And this guy's just, he doesn't want it to be a toy company. This is what happens, right? When the family loses control of the business and it goes public, this is what happens. So Hasbro's dead. I mean, Hasbro, as we've known it, is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, that's just it. Hasbro does not exist anymore. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.